Sprite Castle. Sprite Castle. Sprite Castle.
Mr. Rob O'Hara.
Sprite Castle.
Well, hello. Seem to have done that a little bit backwards today. I recorded the whole intro and then just started streaming, where normally I just do the stream and then I do the other one. So we're going to wait around here for a couple of minutes until people start showing up, because I goofed that one up. Hope everybody is having a good day, but when I say everybody, it really just made me. Oops, skip the 5-minute countdown, I say to the chat room. Let's see, what can we do here while we're waiting? You know what? I could look for a C64 demo. That's always a good time killer. Let's go over and see. Let's see what we can find while we're waiting here to start the show. Let's see. Our games, C64, Assembly 64. Oh, let's see, graphics. Hey, Chris Albright, Drazo. What's going on, everybody? I kind of screwed up the way that I normally start the show. I started the countdown first, and I clicked the stream button last, so really messed everything up. So I'm giving everybody a few minutes to join in before we get started with tonight's games.
Now what are you doing?
Jack Flax says to always keep your gun loaded.
Hey, new follower this evening. Welcome to the show. This is the excitement of the Sprite Castle show. Normally we kick off things with a demo or something before we jump into the night's games, but I kind of screwed up the thing. Yes, Chris Albright, I'm doing an Activision show. Thus all the work I put in that top thing up there that says Activision Night. Let's see what this is here. This is just a random... Oh! That's loud. Let's see. Put on that fader a little bit. Up just a little bit. I don't know what the point of that sound is. Maybe it's not supposed to do that sound. That doesn't seem right. Maybe it's supposed to represent the hustle and bustle of New York City. Hello there, amigos, retro gaming. This is the weirdest little picture thing I ever saw. I don't know what that's all about. We are, I was just telling everybody that I screwed up a little bit my intro. I didn't do the countdown right, so I'm giving everybody just a few minutes before we jump in and play some games. Hey, Steve Burtz. We've got the, I mean, if this is not a manly drink that'll put hair on your chest, I don't know what it is. This is a Seagram's Escapes Jamaican Me Happy in a bright pink color. Hello, L. Curtis Boyle. Let's see what this one is here. Chris Albright is up to 4 Activision patches. That's pretty sweet. I have 0 Activision patches. Great Lakes Nosferatu Red Imperial IPA. I'm afraid that the name is longer than it would take to drink the beer. Oh, I didn't see the little mouse up there. That's cute. That's a nice little picture. All right. So, welcome to the show, everybody. Like I said, I kind of bumbled the beginning there, but today grabbed 4 or 5, actually a few more than that, Activision games. Activision was one of the largest third-party game publishers for the Commodore 64, right up there with Electronic Arts. And so let me drag this window over just so I can see what's on the list. Oh, I did put that one on there. That's good. I can't decide if I'm going to start with an old one or a new one. But you know what I'm going to start with is one that I'm not particularly good at, which is always makes for great television. Well, not television, but you know what I mean. This is, if you happen to watch or listen to the latest episode of Sprite Castle, I just covered River Raid. I want to see what this is. I did not load this before. I don't know if this loads separately. I assume it does. Whoa, look at that. River Raid. Looks exactly like the game's graphics. Yes, if you listen to the episode, you find out all about Carol Shaw. Carol Shaw she got a master's degree in programming, computer systems programming from, I believe it was Berkeley, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. And she was hired to do coding for Atari, and then she eventually jumped ship and went over to Activision. No cheats in this house, buddy. We don't need no cheats. And she did 3D Tic-Tac-Toe. She did Othello. She did a few Atari games before moving over to Activision. And then she did River Raid basically all by herself. And I read a thing that said, well, River Raid sold more than 1 million copies, which is amazing, on the Atari 2600. And she helped out with Super Breakout, some other things. She did some of the background coding of that. And another thing, I don't know if she did the conversions for, I think, the Atari 8-bit and maybe the Atari 5200 by herself. But turned over the conversions to some various other coders for, like this one is by Micro Products Engineering. And there's if you listen to the episode, there's some really she did a really ingenious thing, and I talk about it. But it was basically how River Raid, there's no end to the game, and it talks about how she was, but it's not random. And so basically there's a thing that generates the landscape, but it is a set seed number. And so even though it's generated every time, because the seed number is set, it's not technically random. Now this is a later release of River Raid, which has the logo for Firebird as well. And I talked about this on the show. The bottom it says, please remove all carts. And I thought it was interesting. It says like FF4, like AR3. Like you might not know about an Action Relay 3, you know, but it seems odd that they wouldn't spell those out, or that they just wouldn't make that generic. Now, one thing I talked about on the recent episode, which is something I didn't know, I knew that some versions had extra things like tanks and hot air balloons, and some didn't. But what I didn't realize was essentially it's just the Atari 2600 version doesn't have the tanks, doesn't have the hot air balloons, doesn't have the red helicopters that shoot back at you when you get far enough, and all the other versions do. So I didn't know which did and which didn't, but basically it's just the Atari 2600 didn't. All right, let's, I think if I just, do I need to hit, yes. Let's get over here. I'm on the wrong port. There we go. Gonna lean back. So part of the problem is that some of you guys know my eyesight is not 20/20, and so there's something about this game where a lot of the bad guys just seem to appear in my blind spot when I'm looking, and so that makes me not very good at this game, unfortunately. I used to be okay at this game. Now, if you've never seen River Raid, which doesn't seem possible for anybody that would be watching the stream, but you can speed up and slow down, but you use fuel at the same rate, whether you're going fast or slow. And so if you're looking for fuel, you want to speed up. I did see that guy, I just ran into him. So if you're running low on fuel, you want to press up, fly a little faster. If you're trying to maneuver into a tight space or dodge something, and then you get fuel by flying over these fuel barrels. The documentation says that they are fuel depots, but they look like fuel barrels to me. Let's see if I can watch out for that hot air balloon. Oh boy. The patch, this is something else I talked about on the episode. On the Atari 2600 version, the patch was 15,000 points, which was not a terribly hard score to get in River Raid, I don't think. I mentioned on there that I had a memory. Oh, see, I messed up there. You gotta wait till the tank gets on the bridge, because for two reasons. One is that you get more points, but then two is that if you don't, then he'll sit on the edge and just sit there and shoot at you. Yeah, 15,000 is not that high of a score, and so in the manual for the Commodore 64 version, oh, I need to get that. The patch has been raised to 40,000 points, so almost triple on the Commodore, and the scoring and everything is the same. So I wonder if, I don't really know why it was raised, but I wonder if so many people had been getting patches that they, decided to raise that just a little bit. Oh, right into him. Right into him. Yeah, you can't, well, you can shoot the fuel. The trick to shooting the fuel, obviously, is to fly over it slowly. And then once you've got all the fuel that you can from it, to fire. Now, try to scoot over. There we go. Got him. So fly up here, slow down, top off the old tank, and then if you're still, the main part of your ship is still on the, oh boy, the fuel thing. Ah, bless. Do I have any men left, or was that it? I think that was it. So, I'll show you something interesting on the Commodore version. You can see that when you start, you always start on bridge 1, right? So that's the first bridge. But if you go into the option scene here and option screen by hitting F1 and then go through F3, so game 1, the odd ones are 1 player, and even are 2 player. But you can notice now you'll start here on bridge 5, 1 player, 2 player. Then you can go to 20, 50, 100, 250, 400, and finally 500. So Drazu says local record exchange has a copy of Fastload for $75. Love the fact that there's still market for something out there. Wow. So 2 things about that. Number 1 is Fastload cartridge on eBay would cost you about half that. I think I paid less than that for mine, for this one, which is in the box, which I just had out recently, which is sealed, as you can see. But what you really want to get, this gives me a chance to plug Retro Rewind, the sponsor of the Sprite Castle podcast, is they have a thing called the Freeloader, or Freeload, which is a updated version of Fastload, because basically it's gone into public domain. So people have taken the code and they're putting them on new cartridges, but the new cartridges have a reset button, and they also have a disable dip switch, which the original didn't have. You can do it through software, but not anything just instantly on the cart. And so, and I think those are like under $30 at Retro Rewind. So if you are looking for a new fast load, go to Retro Rewind. And I was just informed last week that my discount code has changed. It is no longer Sprite Castle. It is now SC10. And so if you use SC10 when you check out, you'll get that 10% discount, which if you're in the US and you're buying, because they are in North America, but they're in Canada. So if you're in the US, basically it gets you free shipping on most things. Oh, what are you doing? Jamaica me happy. What's it? There's an orange and a watermelon on there. Manly drink. All right, let's see what Bridge 500 looks like here. Well, we're off to a bad start. How am I going to get... I got to scoot over. Golly, look at that little... Come on. Ah, this is tough. Well, this ran into that guy. Wow, he's zowie. You gotta hit that guy if you don't time that right. Let's try that again. That's kind of cool. Come on now. Let's try that again. All right. Slow it down through there. Speed up. Cut through. Let's take that. This is a lot harder than level 1. All right, let's avoid that. It's hard to slow down because you got to. If you're speeding up and slowing down while turning, it's all diagonal, right? It's down and to the left, down and to the right. All right, let's try that one more time. And then we'll do one more on the. And you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna go back to the easy level. We'll do one more on the easy level. Not easy, just the starting at the beginning of the game, and then we'll move on to another Activision title. I pulled out about 4 or 5. There's one that I haven't visited in a long time. I did it on Sprite Castle a long time ago, and I gotta see if I remember how to play it. But that should be fun. It's one of my favorites. There's also, if you don't listen to my podcast or you haven't been following the Commodore scene, there have been several programmers who have been taking old classic Atari 2600 games and let's get through there. I don't want to get shot by that dude. That was lucky. And what they've been doing is taking old Activision games and then re-releasing them for the Commodore 64. They've been translating them somehow. I don't know if they're rewriting them from scratch. I don't know how they do it, but I always wanted to have a thing that showed a picture, played music, and had a scroller and picture and music. And I followed tutorials and I was never able to even get that far. So releasing Atari games for the Commodore 64 is probably going to be beyond my scope. I was mostly good at taking games that other people had cracked and then putting my name over their name. Hey, Texas Foosballer, what's going on? Wing Chung, boy, everybody's showing up tonight. Texas Foosballer, I was in Denton, Texas on Friday, and I found this place. I wrote a blog post about it today. This place called the Mini Mall 2 in downtown Denton, and let me tell you, it's like an antique mall, but it's everything in there was like vintage. I say vintage, like 70s and 80s retro. It was so good. I bought a pack of Universal Monsters Halloween decorations. I bought, I found a couple of vintage DVDs. I bought some Choose Your Own Adventure books that were there. I mean, there was just so many good things. I spent, I don't know, $40 or $50. I could have spent $1,000. I've got a trip to IKEA planned next Monday, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to. Whichever the furthest north ones are. Either I don't know if it's Grand Prairie is one, but the ones that are in the DFW area, you know. And when I go, I'm gonna try to talk my wife into stopping back by Denton, going to that place again. There was just so much good stuff there. When I die here, I still have the Universal Monsters thing sitting here next to me. Ah, no. Is that my last guy? I think that's my last guy. Do I have the... Yes, right here. Hold on. I haven't hung them up yet. But these are all Universal giant monster things. You can see on the back here. These are all the different ones. All 5 of them are in here, and this was $15. So it was definitely worth it for this. I think I got some of the other stuff I got around here, but everything's in piles right now. Everything's in piles. Yes, I have the Endless Quest. I have books. I think 1, 2, and 4 of the AD&D Endless Quest ones. Let's see. yes. All right, so that's River Raid. Everybody knows River Raid. River Raid's a classic game. Let's get... I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to rename that. No, I guess I'm not. Windows says I'm not going to rename that. I was going to rename it so I didn't accidentally play the same one again. This is one of the new, I say new within the past few years, conversions that has been done over. I bought... All right, hold on. Nope. Well. Oh, hang on. And... Well, aha. All right, here we go. If only I'd used one of my away things that I spent so much time programming. Here's one of the things I bought. This was only $5, and I've said a million times on my podcast that I'm never going to start buying these, and then I bought one. This is a vinyl pop of the Jolly Green Giant. And, the only ones that I said that I really wanted to get are like the food mascot related ones and the 80s vintage characters and stuff like that. And so, and also there were 2 next to each other, and I don't know a super. Nope, this is literally, other than a few Star Wars ones, this is the only one I have. I think this is the only one I have that's in the box. But it's number 43. You can see up there at the top. And next to it at the store was number 42. And it's the exact same guy, but he's got a little bit different smile. And his hands were in a different position. And I was like, I'm not going down that road. I can't be that guy. I just can't do it. But on the way out, I ran across this little book area. This is one I did not have. This is Who Killed Harlow Thrumby? The Choose Your Own Adventure. And these were like $4 each, which I thought, you know. I mean, I'm not going to get 1,000 of them at $4 each, but so you got to solve this murder of Harlow. And so anyway, I got that. And then I read this one a little bit. This is a slightly different brand, I believe. Let me see what this is. This is the different brand, and this is a Time Machine. But let me show you the artwork before I show you I'll show you the front. It says, this book is a time machine. Travel back and become a samurai in the exciting Sword of the Samurai book. Look at that. A little bit of a glare, but you can see that. Well, let me show you the artwork on the back, which is what I saw first. Look at that. I mean, if that's not me, I don't know what's me. Let's see here. There you go. You have traveled back to the age of samurai. That's obviously not a samurai. That is a ninja. But there you go. I mean, it's a pretty cool artwork, and that's the Sword of the Samurai. So anyway, yeah, that's a good one. And they had a Conan one, and the Conan one was like $13 because I thought, the Conan one looks cool, but I was like, I could get 3 other ones, or I could get one Conan one. So I was like, I'm gonna have to go with Conan. Oh no. Well, if you subscribe to me on Patreon, you know what this week's topic was. It was Run DMC. For only $4 a month. $4. You can go to patreon.com/Rob O'Hara. Not only are you supporting my podcast, which there's 4 podcasts a month, which means you're paying $1 a podcast, but you also get a weekly video, Rando Rob, where I show off things around my house and things that I've bought. And one of them was Run DMC action figures. The Run DMC action figures are right here. This is the back of it. You want to know what the front of it looks like? You can't see it. Only on Patreon. So you got to go to Patreon and you get blog posts. You get all kinds of amazing stuff. And I don't think it applies to most people here. But you do get access to the best Discord server on the planet, the Amigos Retro Gaming Discord server. There we go. Many of these games are Antonio conversions. This is definitely one of those. This is one of the newer ones. This is, for those of you that don't remember this game, this is an old Atari 2600 game by Activision. And Antonio Savana, who you should follow on Twitter, and he's doing lots of cool stuff. But these 3 guys, him, Saul Day, and I forgot one, the STE. I think the music is STE 86, I think is his thing. But they've been converting these Activision games over to the Commodore 64. So we're just going to start here. And if you've never played Keystone Kapers, the goal is to catch the bad guy, and you got to watch out because there's bouncing balls, there's all kinds of things. Now, if he is past us, and you can look on the little radar and see where he is past us. Then once the elevator gets here, we can take the elevator, or you could run all the way to the end of the level. This is one small, slow elevator. Come on, man. I'm not gonna catch him because I spent too much time sitting at the elevator. Oh, that wasn't good. So that takes away time. I think that takes away time. We gotta get going here. Now, this is essentially the exact same game on the Atari 2600. The one difference would be is that the graphics and music, there's no music on the Atari version, and the graphics, of course, are a little bit more simplistic for the Atari 2600. So those have all been updated slightly, but essentially it's the same game. You're still the Keystone Cop. You're still chasing the guy. You're still picking up briefcases for points. I'm going to run out of time. I'm not going to catch him. I spent too much time waiting by the elevator. I didn't even see him going this way, yeah. Too far ahead. It's terrible. One thing that Activision... Oh boy. One thing Activision is known for... Let's just use the escalators. Activision was known for their Rainbow Sunset effect, which you can see in a lot of games. I'm not sure if Barnstorming was the first one, but many of their games that had background effects, they used the same... Gosh damn it. Just the same thing I did last time. And so they built this rainbow fade into the background of the games, which is a really nice look. And you can see that they have replicated that here in this game. Also, you can see one of the things that was not in the Atari 2600 version that they added in this one is as you run behind things. So I believe on the Atari one, everything you're in front of everything. There's no actual background, but on this one, you often run behind pillars or different things that are in the foreground. Those, haha, we got him! Cut, and now you do it again, level 2. And you're going to do this level up through level 1 million. I don't know how high it goes, but what you're going to start seeing is additional things, more than just red bouncy balls. You're going to see airplanes that hit us in the head. Let's see if we can get up to this level. Come on. I mean, all I could do is dance. I mean, am I supposed to be hitting the down button, maybe? Is that possibly what I'm... I thought it just automatically did it. It does on the Atari version. Doesn't seem like I'm affecting what's happening here at all. There goes the criminal. Now, if you cut him off, if you go up to the 3rd level before he passes this area, he will turn around and run the other direction. Now we're in the elevator. This is a safer way to navigate the game, but not as time efficient. So you're basically sacrificing time in exchange for avoiding obstacles on the 1st and 2nd levels. Got to jump over the radio. That's a new thing that came in on level 2. Now we're on the roof, and we're going to hightail it and see if we can... Oh, I ran into a radio. That just took all my time away. Yeah, boy. Didn't make it. Yeah, you know, Activision was really the first company that put their programmers' names on the box. You know, they wanted their people's names to be well known. You know, I mean, it's when I say they, it's the guys that formed Activision, David Crane and Whitehead, and those guys, and because they had come from Atari, and Atari didn't want people's names known. They wanted it to say Asteroids. They didn't want it to say, you know, this guy's Asteroids or whoever made Asteroids, you know. And so, so when they formed Activision, they said, we're going to do the exact opposite, you know. And as you saw, when I fired up River Raid, you know, it says Carol Shaw's River Raid. Carol Shaw didn't even work on the Commodore 64 version, but that was what Activision was all about, you know. And then Electronic Arts did the same thing. Electronic Arts even kind of escalated it, where, you know, they basically said, you're exactly right, Curtis. It's you know, that was and why not put somebody's name on it, or, you know, I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, on the title screen of the game or at the bottom of the screen of the game or whatever, but why not put it on the title page of the manual, or why not, you know? Oh, shopping carts. By the way, the shopping cart was invented in Oklahoma. I can't remember if it was in Guthrie. I don't remember where it was, but the shopping cart was invented in Oklahoma. I read a thing about the exciting things about Oklahoma, or unique things about Oklahoma, and that's always shows up on the list. They're real proud of that one. Let's get this bag of money. But yeah, Electronic Arts, you know, went as far, I mean, with what people call their the LP design, you know, their record style packaging. They made it look like rock albums, and they said they wanted to treat their programmers, you know, like rock stars. And then of course it attracted great programmers, and now there will be a RC, I just talking about a remote control RC plane, and it doesn't take time away. It hits you in the head and kills you. And so it comes fast when it comes. You gotta be watching ahead for it. Like there, boink. And so not only is it deadly, but it impedes your progress because you have to stop. So really what you need to be doing is, when you go onto each level, you need to be looking all the way at the end of the screen and see if anything's coming for you. Also, the planes, I believe, to double check. You know what? Let's double check this. Yes, the planes always go opposite. The planes are always coming towards you. It turns out that this game is hard to play if you're trying to read chat and play Keystone Kapers. But this is a very good version of this game. And again, you know, every game doesn't have to be, you know, Doom 3 or some game that you're going to play for, you know, I mean, 2 hours just to get started, create your party, and I mean, I don't know why I just said Doom 3, but you know what I mean? Like, every game just doesn't have to be that involved. And a lot of these old Atari games were just fun little games, you know? I mean, you can see how to play the game, and it's super fun. It's easy. I've always liked games. I've talked about this on the shows. I'm bad at multitasking. I mean, everything you need to know on how to control this game, you can figure out in about 5 seconds. Run, jump, duck. That's it. Oh. See? Now the balls are bouncing higher on this level, and so now you have to duck. Hey, C64 television, I don't think I've seen you in here before. So tonight's theme is Activision games, and we're just going through and playing some Activision games. We're all in 2005 at the latest. Yeah, that's kind of how I am. New to me is like, I want to see if there's anything else on this disc. Nope. Let's see if there's I don't know if there's a graphic or anything else like that. Let's see what else we have. I'm going to play one more new one. No, I'm going to play an old one. We're going to alternate back and forth. So that was a new one. Yeah, it's funny when you say back when Activision had a heart. This is I tried this version out earlier, and this one does work. I'm not thrilled about the German loader or whatever, but it is what it is. But unpacks here for a minute. I'm going to turn the volume up here just a minute, just for this one.
Now what are you doing?
Jack Flack says to always keep your gun loaded.
Now, if you press the space bar, it says Ghostbusters. So when it comes up to the thing, I'm going to hit the space bar. There's something strange. Oh, this is going to be my copyright hit right here. Oh, man. Who you got to call? I remember as a kid... As a kid, I definitely fired this up multiple times. And would just let the whole song play because I thought it was so amazing. Alright, so if you've never played Ghostbusters, and again, that seems impossible, but the point of this game, I mean, there's multiple levels. I think most people that were kids just played it, just the first level, which is probably all I'm going to have time to do on this one. But what you could do was you could create your franchise here. And so you could create your name, and then you could get an account number. And then as you played the game, you would earn money and go back and forth. But I don't know why Ghostbusters is this way more than so many other games. But there are a million different things you can type in here to cheat. And you would think there would just be like one that they built in or something. But I've seen like 20 different things that you can type here. And so I'll show you one. The one that I started using is when it asks for your first and last name. Just hit enter. And then it says, do you have an account? And you type yes. And the account name is 458. And if you do that, you start the game with $1 million. It's wrapped around, which is why it doesn't show $1 million there. So traditionally, when you start this game, you have to buy a crappy car and upgrade it later and add equipment and stuff. But we're playing fast tonight. And so, Drezu, if you look up the account number thing, there are literally dozens and dozens of different ones that are out there. So we're going to get the station wagon, which I like because it carries the most stuff. So this is all stuff, everything that's in this game or that's in here that you can add on your car is important in the game. The PK sensor tells you what the PK level of the city is. This shows you where the ghosts and stuff are. This is the Marshmallow Man sensor, which you need. And then you can go to 2. The ghost bait will attract the ghost to your car when you're driving. This is the vacuum cleaner that you need to suck up the ghosts. Now, we won't load up on traps yet because we got to go to page 3 and put the containment system on. Now, we'll go back to 2 because there's a certain amount of stuff that every car can hold. I think you can put about 5 traps on here. And each ghost that you catch goes in a trap. Yeah, see, I'm full now. So now we'll hit E to end, and it will start the game. And so that's us down there at the bottom. This is us, the Ghostbuster logo. That building that's flashing red means there's a ghost. And you know who's not afraid of no ghost? All of us, guys, because we're all Ghostbusters tonight. And so you get to hear that theme music. You'll get to hear it a lot. It'll be playing every time we're driving. It'll be playing every time we go to a building. Ghostbusters! I do that digitized voice. It does look like the truckster. So, here's how you play this little mini game. First, you lay down a trap. Second, you position this guy on one side and this guy on the other. Now, when you hit your button, they're going to make their little streams. Now, if you remember in the movie, you can't cross the streams. So we need Slimer to be... I just let him out because I was talking. We got to get Slimer back over here. And then what we'll do is we'll scooch these guys together to kind of trap him. And then we'll fire off the trap. Or if you're feeling lucky, you know what we're going to do? We'll be like, oh, we're never going to get him. Oh, come on. Get in there. Oh, there we go. We got him. They'll do a little dance. And so, so there are two things to do all on this first level right now. The first one is, as you can see down there, we've got the city's PK energy, and it's slowly going up. You can also see that I already have $1 million, which is stupid. Get in there. So we'll go get this, take care of the ghost over here. Now, remember, I got 5 ghost traps at the beginning of the game, so I can only pick up 5 ghosts before I have to go back to Ghostbusters Headquarters. You can also get your ghosts or your Ghostbusters slimed. I'll just do that now. You can also crush your streams. So let's just say we'll put this guy here. We put our guys up, and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to catch him, and I miss him. Uh-oh. Now you can see this ghost in the road. We're going to drive over this ghost, and we're going to go down here to Ghostbusters Headquarters, which, by the way, I have been to. Oh. So we used my vacuum. I had to hold down the button. We're going over here to Ghostbusters Headquarters. We get all new Ghostbusters that haven't been slimed. Will I catch that guy? So all you got to do is basically touch those sprites and when you're setting up your little driving path. And then as we're driving, so we drove over 2 different ghosts. So we should see 2 ghosts on this trip. Now there is a second part of... Oh, I missed him, stupid. There's a second part of the game once the PK meter gets to a certain point, and you'll see... this is bringing back old memories. Zool and the Gatekeeper, and they'll be going around, and then eventually they meet up, and then you've got the third part where you got to fight the Marshmallow Man. So there's a lot to this game. It's definitely a type of game that you get your money's worth out of. All right. So as these ghosts, you can see they're trying to get to Zool there downtown. I'm gonna wait for, you know what? No, I gotta get this guy. This is gonna be a long drive. Why not? Alright, we'll try to get them all in one shot. Yep. So you got your ghost bait, and we'll definitely not be playing long enough to see the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but man, what a fun game this was. I mean, when this game tongue-tied. This game came out, I don't remember when it was released, 84, 85, but my friend had this game, and you know, you didn't always have instructions to every game, especially if you downloaded them like we did from BBS's. And just to, just to figure out as much as we did, you know, without any instructions or whatever. Now, someone said that the Apple II version looks really good also, and I agree with that. I definitely played the Apple II version as well. But you know, for me, nothing beats the old 64. All right, there's 2 ghosts on our path, and then we'll come over here. Oh, man. Oh, I couldn't get over there fast enough. He was already in the passing lane. Little sine wave synthesizer violin going on there. I thought there was only 2, which is why I was reaching for a drink. I love all the different buildings. They all. I wasn't paying attention, and I got him. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I guess you could do that. The ghosts aren't really that hard to catch. Beep, 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 beep. I will show you the other thing that you could do when things, this is called when things go, well, let me catch this ghost here. I ain't afraid of no ghost. I've never really understood, maybe you guys have a different opinion, but I'm sure everybody knows about the lawsuit. Knows about the lawsuit over the song Ghostbusters, and that Ray Parker Jr. was sued by Huey Lewis because the company had hired Huey Lewis to record a theme song, or wanted to get him. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Watch. Okay, here's a red one. And so if you remember the movie, there was a very important thing. Don't cross the streams, which of course later they ultimately had to do. But in the game, it becomes real bad news. Uh-oh. Now they're both dead. You crossed the streams. Fortunately, your backpack's shorted out in time. Go back to Ghostbusters Headquarters, which I'm already at Ghostbusters Headquarters, so gotta go over there. But yeah, don't cross the streams. They weren't playing around. Oh my gosh, that guy's going to Zool right there. Oh no, you got in. Yeah, and so anyway, Huey Lewis basically, and I say Huey Lewis. I don't know if it's Huey Lewis, or if it's, Columbia or whoever represented. But they sued Ray Parker Jr. Because they said that Ghostbusters was an obvious ripoff of I Want a New Drug. And, if you listen to the bass line, there's a little bit of similarity there, but there's a little bit of similarity in a lot of songs, it's not like he's like, I want a new ghost. It doesn't seem that close to me. And the thing that I always liked about that story is that part of the judgment was a permanent NDA, and that they are never allowed to discuss what the settlement was. And if I believe what the ruling was is if Huey Lewis ever discusses what the settlement is, then it's like an NDA. He'll have to give back all the money or something. So, I guess they're serious about their NDAs, but I have to sign NDAs at work all the time. And but never about Ghostbusters. But that would be awesome. If I got called up and was like, hey, by the way, I need you to sign this because there's going to be some ghosts. I'll tell you this story real quick and then we'll move on to another game. Several years ago, I went to New York City when I was working as a security pen tester for the government. And so what I was doing was they didn't want their own, the government didn't want their own branches doing their own security audits, right? And so basically there was this big agreement, speaking of NDAs, which is why I can't tell you who I did the security audit of. But, oh no. Was that I had to go to New York City and do a security audit for a different agency. Actually, I can tell you who it was. It was the Environmental Protection Agency. And so I went to New York City, and I had never been to New York City before. And the guy, my contact there at the office, the Environmental Protection Agency office is in the same headquarters as the IRS. And it was, I worked out of a boardroom on the 23rd floor all week. It was a really fun week. And the guy was such a great host that I was working with. And he said, let me take you on this little tour. Oh, look, here comes, there's the gatekeeper, or there's the keymaster. And anyway, he drove me all around New York City and showed me all these amazing things. You know, he was like, hey, from right here, we can see the Statue of Liberty. I was like, oh, that's amazing. I never saw it in person. Here's the Hudson River. He said, you know, right there is where Captain Sully landed his plane. I was like, oh, that's cool, you know, and all this stuff. But, you know, a lot of it was just stuff I didn't know about or didn't know the story behind or whatever, you know. And we were downtown, and he was showing me something, and then I saw a guy in a Ghostbusters outfit. And I go, hey, there's a guy dressed up as a Ghostbuster. And he says, oh, yeah, right there's the firehouse from Ghostbusters. And I looked up, and we were right at that intersection where the firehouse from Ghostbusters was. And it was so cool to see it in person. I mean, I just got so excited, like I was a little kid. And they were having some kind of thing because people were there dressed in Ghostbusters outfits, you know. But what was... well, he said there was somebody there every day. There was always NDAs, or not NDAs, but always people there dressed up in Ghostbusters costumes outside there. And what was really funny is I was like, oh, I love Ghostbusters and all this. And the guy's like, yeah, it's not a big hit around our office. And then I realized that the EPA are the bad guys in Ghostbusters. That's the people that are trying to shut down the Ghostbusters, the Environmental Protection Agency. And I was like, yeah, I could see how it wouldn't be your favorite movie. You know what I mean? But I loved it. So too bad for him. All right. So this is our next Activision game for the night. This is Chopper Command. So this is a newer game. Oh, you know what? I think maybe I'm in the wrong port. Yeah, here we go. So when this was released, it says down there 82, 84 in Activision. And then I'm not sure when this was released for the C64, but 2017, 2018. Sometime around there. Now, if you've never played Chopper Command, then I don't know if you've ever played Defender, but Chopper Command is a lot like Defender. So you've got these your convoys there on the bottom, and now you've got that radar. So I'm the little, if you can see that, I'm the little black dot. And the white dots are the bad guys, and they are trying to destroy my convoys. And as a subset of that, they're trying to destroy me, like that. And there we go. Level 2. So again, pretty simple game. You only have just a few. Oh, now one of the things that I don't like about this game is that when you switch directions, like if I hit left, it doesn't actually move you. It just scrolls the screen. So if I'm trying to get away from somebody, there's this whole screen animation that takes place instead of allowing me to escape. So really what you got to do is, if you're at that point, you might already be... See when I hit left? So if I hit right, like I'm not moving. Wow, that was spectacular. That was like a 4th of July explosion. They do not pick up the trucks. But that would be fantastic. No, basically what they do is they just blow them up. If you watch the helicopters kind of just shoot at you, but the blue jets have these bombs that basically go up and down. I should have brought my other trigger finger because my hand is getting sore from... Oh, hey, guess what? Choplifter has auto fire. Who knew? Well, now this changes everything. Oh no! Where's my Airwolf music when I need it? Doo, 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 doo. All right, we'll try this. Some of these games, it's not that I don't enjoy playing them for a long period of time. It's that I think they're kind of repetitive to watch because there's just not that much going on. I mean, it's pretty. Oh, okay. Come on, Boudreaux. It sure makes it easier to hit those blue jets. Oh boy. When was the last time I watched Airwolf? It's been a minute. I will admit that. It's been a while. If you go to podcast.robohara.com, where all my podcasts are, you will find MP3 samples from Commodore 64 games that I have made, and I believe Amigos Aaron is using the sample I have up of Airwolf as the ringtone for his cell phone. And I just can't think of a... Oh, man. You hear it 10 times a day. Well, I don't know if I want to hear it that much. I watched today a very unfortunate documentary. It was, I believe it's about a 5-year-old documentary, and it was called Beware of Slenderman, and it was all about the murder case, attempted murder, of those girls who basically had read all the Slenderman posts on copy pasta and had decided that Slenderman was real and that they were going to kill one of their best friends to become proxies for Slenderman and gain his do his bidding or whatever. And it is Skater Dies. That is a good ringtone. So anyway, I mean, it was really kind of a disturbing documentary, and one of the things that they went into is that one of the girls obviously had some schizophrenia, and basically it was saying that Slenderman was talking to her in her dreams and had been talking to her since she was 3 years old, and it was really just a sad thing overall, and the way that the documentary ended, which I believe is not the final say, was the documentary, the girls were sentenced to 25 and 40 years for attempting to, they stabbed their friend 19 times in the name of Slenderman, which again, if you're not familiar, Slenderman is a made-up boogeyman story that people were posting Photoshop pictures of online several years ago. And let's see if there's anything on. Well, we already saw the loading screen on that one. It was a really, really sad documentary, and it's how everybody's lives were affected by it. So it was not a uplifting one for sure. But all right, we did a new one. We're gonna go old. We got, I think, 3 more in the hopper, which will take us around to the hour-and-a-half mark. That should be pretty good. If I don't set the world record on this one. All right. If you're ever playing these in MAME, you'll know, or not MAME, God, where's my head tonight? In WinVice, you will see that it says press run stop to start, but of course on a PC keyboard there's no run stop. But on the emulator, caps lock is run stop. So if you hit caps lock, that's what gets you past those. There's a little tip from me to you. Yeah, Cox Cable got their stuff all, let's see, no unlimited lives, no unlimited time, no collision off, can't fall into crocs or swamps. Well, that seems terrible. No. It's funny that all these old Activision games, maybe not, I could be wrong. Yep, they're all joystick port 1. I believe I reviewed this on Sprite Castle at one point in time, and it did not get great reviews, mostly like a lot of other games, because they said that it didn't really take advantage of the Commodore 64. I mean, it's a little better than the Atari version. The music's a little better, and the graphics are a little better, but not significantly what you would expect. An upgrade for the C64 as I run into every barrel in the game. That is true. If you go left, you will find treasure faster, and the problem is when you run with the barrels, so running left is better for that reason. The downside to running left is when you hit the stationary things like the snake or the campfire, is that you run directly into them. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, save me. So, once again, on these Commodore conversions, if you're familiar with the Atari 2600 source material, you probably have a pretty good idea of what to expect here. The map is exactly the same. Whoa. Campfire. Good thing people just leave their fire going out here in the woods. Oh boy. Tintin says he's been tracking his internet speeds every hour for the past month, averaging 300 down and 28 up. Tintin, who's your, I might scroll back, who's your internet through? So I'm paying for Cox gigabit, which of course is not gigabit down and is nowhere near gigabit up. It is, now they only say it's 940 down, but I couldn't tell you the last time I had, I think 700's about, well, there was, in the beginning, I could get like 800 or whatever, but it's been a long time. Now it pretty much, 500 or 600 is pretty good. Yes, I have a data cap of 1.25 terabyte, which is really kind of a little sweet spot because I was struggling with my data caps when during COVID, when I had 2 kids that were staying home going to school. That was maxing me out. So 2 kids staying home, mom and dad working from home, and then dad downloading 800,000 movies. No, I wouldn't do that. But I was streaming 800,000 movies. Let's say that. Yeah. There's one time where I had to have a talk with the boy about the data cap. We went over and got hit with that $50 charge. And what he had done was he had brought his buddies came over and to all play one of the shooting games they were playing, and everybody needed an update, and it was like one of those games where the update was like 150 gig or something. I mean, and it killed me. It just blew us over the whole thing for the month. So I do have so I found out that AT&T fiber is available to me, and it is gigabit up and gigabit down and way cheaper. Now, here's the thing. What I need to do is go find somebody local who has, I forget what it is, but whatever their cable television solution is, and see, if that meets our needs. Like, look at theirs and see what channels you get and all that stuff. 25 down, 5 up, $10 a month. Well, you can't beat the price on that. 10 down or 25 down would be pretty painful for me. And 5 up enough. I don't know if 5. Aaron, what's your up speed whenever you guys like? What's the threshold that you find gets you to the point where you start having trouble with streaming? I don't know. I can tell you that 0.2 doesn't do it, because that's what I was getting last week or the week before when I couldn't stream, and then I was on the phone with Cox Tech Support. Oh no, Rat Boy pushed me out. Can I jump, Rat Boy? I forget. No. Alright, we'll go the other way. Sorry, Rat Boy. OEC fiber. I will check that out. Yeah, my next door neighbor has AT&T gigabit, and they put I guess he was the first one to get it, and they put the tombstone basically in his backyard, so I just have to run it, from, I just have to run it right there, so that would be not too bad. But then you gotta change, I gotta change it, I guess, every single thing in my house, like, I mean, I've got Cat 6 through the walls to all of our rooms, so I don't have to change that. But I also have coax outlets in every room, which I guess those become worthless. I don't know. I just don't know how their TV thing works. But I can tell you this. If it were me, if it were just me, I would cut the cord, and I would get, Hulu and we already have Netflix and Amazon Prime. I'd get Hulu maybe Disney Plus, and then I'd call it a day. Between that and other movies that I stream, I've got a lifetime worth of stuff to watch. Oh, there's the old frog. No, thank you, sir. Oh, I did it. I just ran into him right after I said don't run into that. This is, of course, Pitfall 2, which was a big deal on the Atari 2600 because it came in a cartridge that needed extra RAM to handle all the amazing sound and all that great stuff. Oh, that was a quick way down, I suppose. Well, this is called a vertical tour of the game, I believe. I'm going straight to hell, apparently. This is Pitfall 2. Pitfall Harry goes to hell. Where's he coming out? No, don't shock me. All I want is some gold, mister. I hear there's gold up here in these here parts. And that's what I'm aiming to do. Just get me some... Well, I'm aiming to get on that ladder. Are you kidding me? No, I couldn't move while I was falling. It was just death to Pitfall Harry. See? Oh, well, maybe I can. Okay, never mind. Well, that seems silly now that I just let him fall for 800 years. All I wanted was this gold. All Pitfall Harry wanted was some gold. Okay, well, that does seem to work. I take it back. Well, there's some gold. Don't jump around. Jump around. The gold. Oh no. Well, why don't I just use that? Is there any... Am I penalized for taking the quick route up and down? That seems to be... Oh, there's gold up there. Oh, there's a bat. Yeah, I haven't even looked into Philo yet. I don't know anything about that. I could easily... You know what? I'm going to write a big blog post tonight about this. If you give two flips about this, check robohara.com tomorrow. But, gotta go up 2 levels. No. I thought I made it under your head, you dum-dum. You know, Pitfall Harry had a whip. Just saying. I'm not saying he was better than you, Harry. I have been reading a million articles and videos about hashtag van life. I am obsessed with it. This is my last time to... Oh, there we go. I am obsessed with van life. This is basically where people convert vans, and traditionally it's those bigger vans. I mean, like I would call them an Amazon delivery van, but they have there's a Ford model, there's a Mercedes model. So I would say traditionally it's those size of vans that people are converting, but I also found a bunch of videos where people are converting much smaller vans, and there's a whole rabbit hole to go down about stealth camping. It's just incredibly interesting, and I have been, for about the past 4 days, I just haven't been able to get enough of it. So van life are these people that essentially, I think the term that I was familiar with, like back in the day, was road warriors. Like I would just think like people that just lived on the road, you know. Forestry Forest. Oh, I haven't seen that guy yet. So essentially, what van life is it's these people, kind of like what C64 television just said. It's people who have... Oh, there's gold up there. Don't distract me while there's gold. You guys are trying to take my gold, aren't you? All you want is Pitfall Harry's gold with your stories. I don't know why he talks like an old prospector. He obviously would not do that. And so these people, they take these vans, big vans, little vans, and then they convert them into what looks like an RV, except for vans are much smaller than RVs. So it's very, for a long time, I've been addicted to the tiny house thing. And when I say addicted, I mean watching all the videos and watching all the TV shows. And then my wife will come in and be like, have you looked at the room that you live in? Because, I mean, there is zero chance of me ever living in a tiny house. I'm going to show you something here in just a second. By the way, when I go to IKEA next week, next Monday. Oh, I landed on a frog. When I go to IKEA next week, it is to buy 4 sets of Billy bookshelves, which are going to go here behind me. Let's do this. So the 4 IKEA shelves are going to fill this whole wall. But let me see if camera 2 is hooked up. It may be. Let's see what we can do here. Got cam 1. You know what? I don't have it on here, so let me add it real quick. Hang on just a second. Video capture, add existing. Camera 2. So camera 2 is a this is a bad angle right now. This is the camera that I use when I game with my Mister. But what I wanted to show is that this wall back here is already covered. That's my arm, but is covered with Billy bookshelves that are already full of crap. And the vintage lunchbox collection is up there. And by the way, I mean, it runs all the way down there. So my point is that, hello. Let's get off camera 2 and go back to camera 1. The point is that there is zero chance of me ever living in a tiny house. My wife likes to say, if I wanted to move into a tiny house, I would need 10 of them and have to hook them up like a train, right? So there's the idea and then there's the reality, okay? And the idea is that I love the tiny home movement. I'm so for it. I think it's so cool. And then the reality is I'm too much of a stuffed person. Like, you know what you're not buying when you're in a tiny house? Run DMC action figures. You know what? I'm going to show you one. I'm going to show you Run. Look at that. You got to join Patreon to see the others. You know what else you can't have? The Friday the 13th bobblehead. So, yeah, I'm a stuffed guy, man. I have stuff all around here. I have Commodore 64 cartridges laying all over the place. I have action figures and toys and things that haven't been filed away yet. So, could I live in a tiny house? No. Do I love the idea of it? Yes. And so that is kind of where I am with the van camping, Do I love the idea of it? Yes. I love the idea that people, and again, with the stealth camping, people are buying normal looking minivans and converting them to where you can sleep. They put bathrooms in them, sinks, kitchens, everything you can think of, all in a tiny minivan. And then they just drive around and they do stealth camping. They pull into parking lots and they park in neighborhoods and do all this stuff. And the funny thing about it is, for me, I tend to think like, now I'm like, I wonder how many people that I have seen possibly, like when you go, next time you go to Walmart and you park next to a van, you're like, somebody living in that thing? Or is it just, is it just a minivan? You don't know. So I find it very interesting. Texas Foosballer. My last house was big. My last house was really big. And but it was 2 stories. And so it was such a pain to do stuff. And so we moved to this house. And we have a 3-car garage. And this is a big house also. It's not as big as the last house, but it's 4-bedroom plus a formal living room and a regular living room plus this office. And the first thing I did, if you follow my blog, I built a 1,200 square foot shop at the end of my driveway, which is at the end of the 3-car. I mean, I just can't have so much stuff. And you know what? Got 14 square foot. In my new retro van that I'm building. All right, let's get past this nostalgia here. What is going on here? Unlimited lives, no. I probably should say yes because I haven't played this. No. This is, I'm going to say this real, 1400 is a little bit more believable. And by the way, I had a friend who, so in Oklahoma and in Texas, or Texas Foosballer, depending on where he's at, in Oklahoma, land is cheap. You know, my cost of living is very low. So I will tell you, my last house was 4,200 square foot. I bought a giant house. This one is a little bit more. Yeah, San Antonio depends on, you know, if you're downtown or whatever, you know, where you're at. I'm going to tell you a San Antonio story. I'm good at sidetracking myself. But when I was a kid, we went to San Antonio, and we went to a place for breakfast called Sombrero Rosa. Have you ever heard of that? And it's long out of business. But it was, I think it's is it Rosa or Roja? I can't remember, but basically it was pink. And so the pink sombrero, and the restaurant was shaped like a pink sombrero. It was round, and then the whole top of it looked like a hat. And that was the very first place. Well, I'll tell you one memory of that trip was the summer after Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the movie was released. And so we went and went to the Alamo, and there was a guard, and I said, "Hey, could you tell me where the basement is?" And he goes, "Wow, you're the first person to ask me that." And I go, "Really?" And he goes, "No, 500 people a day ask me that." That was like, yeah, that makes sense. But the Sombrero Rosa was the very first place that I ever saw, that any of us had ever seen, a breakfast burrito. And we were like, eggs on a tortilla? What are you talking about? A breakfast burrito? And it was so good. And we were there for a week and went to Sombrero Rosa a couple times. And so, yes, I think we've covered it in a previous episode, but I can do the entire Pee-wee movie line for line. Good morning, Pee-wee. Good morning, Mr. Breakfast. Can I have some Mr. T cereal? Okay. I'll pity the poor fool. Don't eat my cereal. Anyway, I've watched that movie one too many times. But, so years later, and this is probably 10 years ago, I went back to San Antonio. I went for work. And I was like, I wonder if Sombrero Rosa is still around. And Sombrero Rosa is long gone. But I mean, the restaurant itself is gone, but they turned it into a barbershop. It was a barbershop, and they just painted it white. So it's this round building, and I assume that's still there, but it was a round building with a giant sombrero on top. That was just a barbershop for some reason. So San Antonio, I was a big fan. By the way, San Antonio, to bring this full circle, on the Riverwalk is where they filmed a good portion of one of my favorite movies of all time, Cloak and Dagger, starring Dabney Coleman as Jack Flack, which is where my alias came from. All right, here we go. Let's see. Activision presents Toy Bazaar. This is a game that I can't remember if this is on any other system or if it's only, it may be a Commodore 64 exclusive. It may be on one other system. I don't remember, but this game is fantastic. I love this game. I played this game a zillion times as a kid. And you are a night watchman who is locked in a toy store after hours. And the levels go pretty quick. So what you'll see is all these bad guys, the Whirly and the Scooter and all that. And the only difference on those guys is how they move. And then you've got, I think it's Big Bertha is her name. And she comes out at a certain point, and you can see she's a wind-up toy, right? Oh, Flack Day Lady Ace. Come in, Lady Ace. And so, you know what? I will, maybe I'll play something before we're done here. Let's see here. So let's get this started. What do we have to do? Hit F1 here. And this great music. Okay, and so wrong joystick port. Okay, so there's multiple ways to beat these levels. The first is you can turn off all these balloon or the balloon patches. Oh, now if anything touches you, you die. And also, there are platforms that go up and down that are in pairs. Can you see those? And so, so if you're standing on one. So it's kind of impossible to do that going the same way as her. Oh, I thought that was the last one. So things are going to get complicated. And it's going to look complicated. It's really not complicated. Okay, so see, I hit that one while he was on that one. Oh, I forgot. It's been a minute since I played this, so give me a second here. So when that guy, the whirly guy, is hopping around, what I got to do is hop over him. And now that he's glowing, you pick him up. Okay. So we got to get all those guys. Now there's a coffee break, which is kind of like, boink. Okay, so see that guy is stuck on that platform there? So let me jump on this platform. And see how this one goes up. Okay, so let's get this guy. So we jumped over him. Now what we can also do, if I could time this just right. So let's wait till she runs across this bottom one here. Oh. And you could get them, God, you could get them when they're in their balloon state, you can pop them immediately. Oh, God dang it. Thank you. That's a lot of talking about a game that you guys can't see. Alright, let's see if I can start this over here. Oh, that's my last man anyway. Let's go get killed here. I'm sure, I hope it's, you can see the right glasses. Alright, let me run into Big Bertha here. Okay, we'll start over. Let me go back through the chat. Oh, can't see the game. Video is on you. This game looks like Rob. You aren't showing the game. We can't see. Change video feed. Can't see the game. I don't know what you're saying. What you're saying is I should pay more attention to the chat. All right, let's start this over. So we'll go back to level 1 here. So this is Monday night, hour 1. Okay, so here we are. We're running around. So here's the little platforms here. Like this is a platform that I just ran over. Okay, so if I hit this platform, watch this. Boink. See how that guy's glowing now? That guy's glowing. So I can only get them when they're glowing. They don't glow forever. That guy's about to unglow. Now, if I were quick enough... Nope. Okay. Should have jumped over that guy. So the I'm the guy here on the bottom, obviously, and so you can turn these things off and they can't make the balloons, right? Oh, now, okay. So what I just did was I hit... Oh, they're all stuck there. Watch this. Oh, come on. Ah, that guy moved. The girl, the lady with the key in her back is Big Bertha, the wind-up toy. Okay, so I got that guy, and I got that guy. There we go. So if you can control the top, you can get them as their balloons. But then old Bertha comes There we go. So that's all of them. You out of here, Steve Burtz? So in the upper left-hand corner by where it says score, you can see how many balloons there are. So like I said, if you can get them when they're in their balloon stage. Oh, okay. So which platform goes to that one? So I think I can. Oh, let's get out of Dodge. Okay. That dude. Those guys. Now if that'll come all the way up, which it won't. Oh, Bertha. Big Bertha got me. Now there's a coffee break thing up there. So that's coffee break is like getting the flashing star in Super Mario Brothers. You become invincible and that's it. And then you get bonus for however much clock time you have left. Now this is the bonus level, and so the way the bonus level is well, it's not really a bonus level because it's not optional. It's like the bonus level in is it Congo Bongo? Yeah, where you. But basically, what you got to do is get all these off, and obviously, she's turning them all on. So the only way to eventually do it is to go against the grain. Let's try to get these top ones done first. Okay, that one's done. Okay, let's get her chasing me. There we go. It's tough to do. So you would do it like that, except for she got that top one done. I ran out of time. It's 3 a.m. I like the orchestra music. I mean, I like the chords going into the levels. All right, so now we've pretty much... Oh, missed jump. Missed jump equals death. And I just ran into Bertha. There you go. We'll try this one more time, and then we'll probably call it a night. But this was, like I said, this was a big favorite of mine as a kid. And again, a lot of time was spent as a kid just trying to figure out what the rules were. You know what I mean? Alright, so here's what we're going to do here. Now, she's coming that way still. Okay, watch this. Oh, rats. I ruined it. I was building a trap for her. Oh, then they built a trap for me. Yeah, there's you gotta watch when the balloons start shaking. I can't stop shaking. I discovered this band. This is stupid. This story has no point. It has nothing related to anything. I was listening to a heavy metal radio show in like high school, and there was I gotta look up a fact. Hang on for a second. Let me pause this. This is not what anybody wants to see. Oh, I know what it is. Okay. So, oops. Oh, Pause. Watch out for Bertha. And so anyway, I was listening to this show, and there was a song that they played, and I thought the song was called Manhunt. No, sorry. I thought the song was called Red Hot. And it goes, red hot, red hot, red hot, red hot, red hot, red hot. And anyway, I went looking for the album because I'd heard this song, and it turns out it was not called Red Hot. It was called Manhunt. But it sounded to me like he was saying Red Hot. And so I found it, and it was from a band called Wolfsbane. And I thought this lead singer, was amazing. He was super good. He had just could really belt out a tune, you know. And let's see, is she gonna jump? Yes. Let's see if I can send somebody flying. That guy, got it. So that guy was on the platform. I hit the platform and sent him a zoom in. There we go. And so anyway, the second song was called, I think, Shaken. And before the chorus, it goes, what can I do? I can't stop shaking. It was a really kind of cheesy kind of song, you know. But the guy had a real gravelly voice, a lot of power behind it, you know. And I just thought, I was like, man, I don't know that this band is going anywhere, but this singer is great. And so I would tell people all the time, I was like, man, you got to hear this singer. And everybody's like, this singer is crap, Rob. What are you listening to this for, you know? And, oh, he's almost got, I did it! There we go. And, anyway, years later, the lead singer of that band was, is it Blaze Bailey? Is that his name? The guy that, when Bruce Dickinson quit Iron Maiden, he took over as the lead singer of Iron Maiden. And I told everybody, I was like, I told you guys he was a good singer. I told everybody. Nobody would listen to me. But it was Blaze Bailey and his first band, or at that time, I don't know if it's first band, but his band at the time was Wolfsbane. And their hit single, Manhunt, which I thought was red hot. So, good singer, possibly not good at enunciating. And I would go around all the time going, red hot, red hot, red hot, red hot, red hot, red hot. And then I felt pretty dumb when I found out it was Manhunt. Oh boy. Oh, I missed the coffee break. But I got the power. All right, so this is Toy Bazaar. You get the idea. I'm going to take us out with a song that will should not get me kicked off of, or not kicked off, but off of YouTube or whatever, because it's a song that I recorded. But Toy Bazaar, Aaron, you'll love it. You got to check it out. Toy Bazaar is great. So let me check what this volume level is going to do here. So if you're a fan of Cloak and Dagger, I recorded a song. Gosh, how old is this? This would have been 1995. I got a 4-track recorder, and this I had a guitar that I could barely play. I had a bass that I could play not as good as the guitar. And I wanted to do a song with samples because Nine Inch Nails was using samples. And so I was like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to download 50 different wave files from Cloak and Dagger. And I'm going to open each one in their own media player window. And so on the 4-track, I played, the drums were off of a drum machine that I got at a garage sale for $10. And I had the guitar, and then I had the bass, and then I had this is not worth the buildup. I did record better stuff later. But this was my first attempt at recording music where I used samples. And so the name of this song is actually Jack Flack. So let's see how this works here. I haven't ever played an MP3 through this before. So hopefully all the inputs will work. Let's try this out.
Prepare to penetrate the enemy stronghold. Follow me in.
Okay, wait, I'm thinking of the wrong song. So the drum track to this, if you somebody will spot it immediately. I'm just going to let it play, and you can guess where the drum track came from. But anybody who knows anything about 80s music will recognize the drum track immediately. Go back to the...
Prepare to penetrate the enemy stronghold. Follow me in.
I had 10 times as many bullets as Jack Flack. I had 10 times as many bullets as Jack Flack.
Time to go, Jack.
This is Jack Flack requesting an assignment. Over. Now what are you doing? Now what are you doing?
It's tough to listen to, I'm not going to lie.
Command Lady is. Practical Lady is. Command Lady is. Jack Black always escapes. Jack Black always escapes. Jack Black always escapes. Jack
There's a little jazz freestyle for me.
Jack Black. Jack Black says to always keep your gun loaded.
By the way, I'm a big
Jack
Ministry
Black
fan.
says to always keep your gun loaded.
Yeah, but Flack had the ingenuity and the context, kid. It's better than bullets sometimes. It's better than bullets sometimes.
Come on, Morris. Give us
All right, we're
something
gonna fade
exciting.
this out.
Like Cloak and Dagger, only for real.
Oh no, it's not fading out. I clicked on the wrong thing. I hit stop. So, you know what? I'm gonna play because now I got to get that out of my mouth. Hey, you know what? We're going to. No, that's terrible. That's terrible. I did eventually. You know what? Here, this is. Let me find something good here. This was a cover version I was working on of "Hungry Like the Wolf." So there's no real vocals on it, but you'll get the idea. And this is a little bit better quality. This is a few years later. Well, this is after I learned a little bit more about recording. So one of these days, I'm going to take Boat up on his offer and do one of the Patreon songs for the Amigos Discord, but it's just a matter of finding a good fit. fade that out. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to end on one final note. Well, you know what? I already told him I'll do the music. He has to still sing. I played everything on that song, by the way. So what we're going to end on is a classic performance that I did many years ago on stage. I've got the video queued up right now. Let me see. Let me go here. Let's see. Let me add a VLC. Let me add this. I have this on the a different view. I don't have it on this view.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh,
it behooves me.
that's not the right thing.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It is the right thing.
it behooves me. Tell you that Harry Rose acting in the capacity of master of ceremonies.
Wait a second. Let's go over here because it'll be more. Oh, there we go. It'll be more fun if it's here. Here we go. This will take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, it behooves me.
This is me when I was much younger but older.
Harry Rose acting in the capacity of master of ceremonies.
Every night, Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches.
I win her with flowers.
Flowers!
All my sweetness, till I found out my baby's sweetness.
Thanks for the sandwiches, thanks for the sandwiches.
But I fear there's something wrong. Instead of filling and chewing, all start chewing.
Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches, all night long. Everybody! Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches.
I win her with candy.
Candy!
I scream candy. But how she likes her Ghostbusters. Every night she whispers.
Frankfurter sandwiches.
But I hear there's
Something wrong.
Listen, even when it was young Kipper, why I had to live her.
Frankfurter sandwiches, Frankfurter sandwiches. Thanks everybody for tuning in. It's fun, Sprite Castle. Played some fun Activision games. Everybody gets play. This show is sponsored by Frankfurter Sandwiches. Please go to the nearest frozen food aisle section where you can buy your own Frankfurter sandwiches. I don't really think that exists, but that's a fun joke if it did. And we will have a new episode of You Don't Know Flack out either on Thursday or Friday, depending on when I get stuff done. So if you want to, if you go to podcast.robohair.com, you can find all the YouTube links. You can find all the podcast links. And if you want to know when I'm streaming, which I know most of you, if you're here, that you do, because what else would you be doing if you weren't listening to me sing about Frankfurter sandwiches? Frankfurter sandwiches. Be sure to, follow? I don't know what it is, but follow and you'll get those notifications when I go live, which could be at random times. Now that I'm doing the podcast, I may have random things show up. So my goal, I think eventually, once I make $1 million on Patreon, is streaming's out the window, and I'm just going to drive around in my converted van eating Frankfurter sandwiches. I just can't think of a better life. So thank you guys for hopping on today. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for all the chat and all the suggestions and the feedback and all the stuff. I love all the interaction. It's the highlight of doing all this for me. So thanks again, guys, and I will see you all soon.